Okay guys, this should be a quick flip lesson on ionic bonds, section 5.2. So you should think of ionic bonds about, they are electrons. Remember, we're just talking about the valence electrons, but they're electrons that I give or I take. They're not shared. That's covalent bonds. These are ones that I give or I take. And this gives an example of sharing money with a friend, so you both have what you need. And that's how ionic bonds work. And when an atom loses one of its electrons, it becomes a positively charged ion. And when it gains one, it becomes a negatively charged ion. It becomes a positively charged ion because now it has one more proton than it does electrons. And it becomes a negatively charged ion because it has one more electron than it does protons. So an ion is when it has a charge. It has either one more, or it has more electrons than protons, or more protons than electrons. And ions are atoms, or groups of atoms that have gained or lost electrons. So if you think of lithium, for instance, it's in group 1, so it only has one valence electron. It's always trying to give that away. So lithium becomes an ion with a positive 1+ charge here. So when you have Li with a plus, that means that's the symbol or the formula for the lithium ion. When you come down here, think of calcium. It always wants to lose 2 electrons, so it has a 2+ charge. So it tells you the symbol. It tells you how many electrons it lost. How many electrons is the number, and then if it lost or gained those electrons is the plus. If it gains electrons, then you come down here. Think of chlorine. It's in the halogen family, group 17 there at the second last to the end next to the noble gases. It's always going to take an electron on. So it has a symbol. It doesn't have the number 1, just like in algebra we don't put the number 1 in front of it. But you can assume it's 1, and the negative means that it has gained 1 electron. So the symbol tells you, or the symbol for an ion tells you the symbol and if electrons were gained or lost. These other ones down here, these are called ionic compounds, and we'll get to those a little bit later. They're special, and there's really just memorizing some of them. So an ionic bond forms as a result of attraction between positive and negative ions. So sodium, we know that this is the dot diagram. It has 1 electron, and this is 7 for chlorine. That's its dot diagram. So what happens, you see how this kind of is a puzzle. It fits right in there to make chlorine look like it has 8. And then sodium's happy because now its outer level is going to be full. And then you end up getting this. So sodium has a 1+ charge and chlorine has a 1- charge. And the properties you should know that are hard metal solids, they have high melting point. When they're dissolved in water, they conduct electrical current. So you can almost think like salt is an example of an ionic compound. And that's it. So now go ahead and make sure you're logged into your Pleasanton account and use this URL. At the end there, it's VRCXUB. Make sure you have the capitals in the right spots.